Now, Herat Hospital serves a population of some 5 million, not just the province of Herat, but provinces around it as well. And that's with just 360 beds, pretty much 100% occupancy. Behind me, the emergency department, it's also very busy, some 200, 220 cases a day. It deals with a variety of injuries and ailments. It's had about 30-odd cases so far today. Road accidents, shooting incidents, stabbing incidents. This is Afghanistan, so there are also injuries from mine explosions, and we've already unfortunately had one person die in here early this morning from a car accident. That person had to travel 100 kilometres on an unlaid road to get here. But also here at this hospital there is a specialist burns unit. There is a disturbing phenomenon here in Afghanistan of women self-immolating, setting themselves on fire. Such are the pressures and the social pressures they fear or they feel here in this country. And I'm fortunate to be joined by Suraya Pakzad, who runs an organisation called Voices for Women that helps women in these sorts of situations. Suraya, why is this phenomenon of women setting themselves on fire so prevalent here in Afghanistan and here in Herat particularly?
Yes, unfortunately, still self-emolation is the biggest challenges that women of Afghanistan is faced through. And it is due to forced marriages, child marriages, poverty, lack of education, and also laws that limits women's rights in the society. So when they are disappointed from all doors, when there is no one to hear their voices, and they prefer to set on fire and rid of their abusive life.
But it seems such an extraordinarily extreme thing to do.
Of course, it is not only violation when the high level of trauma is among those disappointed women, where they are knocking many doors and working when the law are not responsible for their rights, when there is no one to hearing their voices, and the stress is in a very high level, they decided to set on fire and kill themselves. And that's the only way that they thought they will be able to rid of from their abusive husband and abusive life as well.
Is education having any impact on trying to stop this phenomenon?
The percentage women living in the capital of the countries, in the cities, in the central of the cities, of course, they are benefit from the recent progress. But unfortunately, the women living in rural area are still much far from this opportunity and much far from this benefit. Still, forced and child marriages, which is the biggest issue women drive to self-emolation, is very common. And violence against women is dramatically continue in the country, while the violation against women is strongly continue in the country, while there is no place that women can go to the rural area, to the villages, so there is no option for them, unfortunately.
Okay, Suraya, I must also just ask you very briefly about the instances, another one recently, of apparent poisonings of girls in schools. I know it's difficult to prove whether these are poisonings or not, but is it a concern of yours that this still appears to be happening?
Of course, they try to create fears among the community and especially among the female schools and girls' schools, that they would like to stop the girls' school before the withdrawal of international troops from Afghanistan, and create fears among the family to do not send their girls to school, because the extremists and the Taliban, who believe women should not be part of the nation building of Afghanistan, they try to show how weak they are. Unfortunately, from my point of view, it shows their weakest point to fight against girls' school and poisoning innocent girls in the school. That's not the way of fighting against their idea.